What is happiness? It is not joy, elation, or a constant high. It's maximizing how often you experience positive feelings. Everything from relaxed contentment or joy that inspires you to laugh until you cry. Feeling those things more often. This is not about being happy or unhappy. It's not a binary set. It's about being happier. But what are you happier than? The people around you? No. The goal is to be happier now than you were before, and to be happier next year than you are this year. Happiness is not a state you attain. It is a choice you make every moment of your life. An active process. It takes effort, but it is so worth it. But the last thing I want you to think is that you'll come out the other end of this series happy. There's no magic bullet, no 5 steps to happiness, no one-size-fits-all method for developing happiness in your own life. This series is my way of sharing many ideas that you can adopt, reject, modify, or improve to find what combination works best for you. We're all complicated, and so, of course, I can't help you individually. This is the kind of thing that requires a lot of introspection, and it's very personal. That's why this series is primarily aimed at people with normative brain chemistry. I can't help you if you've gone through emotional trauma, have clinical depression. If on the scale of happiness you are at -5, then you may need to reach 0 and just be okay before any of the advice that I give can really help you. And so, for those of you who do have a choice as to how you feel, part of this is choosing to accept your circumstances as they are. Not to be complacent. I'm not saying to just be happy and do nothing. I'm not suggesting that we all be the metaphorical 30-year-old pothead couch potato who's happy mooching off his parents. Happiness doesn't mean complacency. Accepting your circumstances, the bad included, doesn't mean you don't work to change them. And if you can't change them, accepting that can help you to work around them, learn from them, and be more content in spite of them until you can change them. And you should also learn to accept your internal emotional state. You have to give yourself permission to be human, to feel the full array of emotions, including the negative. In our culture, there's this rejection of feeling bad. The whole, how are you? Well, fine. When the proper response would be, well, not so good, or maybe even a tear. This perpetual lie that we all tell each other only reinforces this idea that it's wrong to feel bad. But only 2 kinds of people don't experience negative emotions: psychopaths and dead people. So if you feel these negative emotions, I'm glad. You should unconditionally accept your emotions because they are a large part of who you are. I mean, look at a psychopath and look at a normal person. Do you see what's missing between the two? That is the part of yourself that you are trying to reject, and I encourage you not to. I mean, imagine if you woke up tomorrow and you decided that you absolutely refuse to accept the fact that you cannot fly. These negative emotions are as real and natural as gravity. And rejecting them only strengthens them. Ironically, you would think that, well, if I'm rejecting these negative emotions, then I should be happier, right? No. In fact, the opposite is true. As an example, for the next 10 seconds, don't think about a pink elephant. You know, like Dumbo with the big ears and all pink. Yeah, just don't think about that. You have 5 seconds to not think about this pink elephant. Okay, so if you're walking around thinking, don't be anxious, don't be anxious, don't be anxious, that's going to contribute to your anxiety. Or, why are you angry, why are you angry, why are you angry? You're going to get pissed off. And from that point, by developing happiness, you can strengthen your response to negativity in all forms. It helps you to be less affected by it and to recover from it more quickly. And that's why I suggest reinforcing the positivity in your life and developing happiness. Because if 0 is just okay, but you at just a baseline are at a 5, it's much more difficult to backslide to a place of depression. Not only that, but you can spread this positivity to other people in your life. It's a cyclical butterfly effect whose ripples reach you don't even know how far. It's just like Bobo said in his supplement to my last video about how happiness is contagious. To a large extent, your happiness is dependent on the people that you choose to surround yourself with. After all, Yes, a form of social karma does exist, and you want to have good effects, but that doesn't guarantee reciprocation from the universe. There's no objective score kept that balances things out. Some people live shitty, die shitty, and get everything they want without ever having to pay for it, while some truly awesome people suffer every day of their lives and then die in the worst ways imaginable. Life is a bell curve, and there are extremes on either side, but most of us fall within the standard deviation. If you do good things for other people, they'll remember and repay you by treating you well. If you do bad things, you'll generally alienate people, and people won't be inclined to help you even in the worst of times. So developing happiness makes it so that you are spreading more positivity. Just as we all know that when someone hates their job, they come home and they spread that negativity to their family. But in this case, in every moment of your life, you can spread that general positivity to everyone with whom you come into contact. Developing happiness can bring positive effects into all of our lives. And so, welcome to my series on the subject. Feel free to ask questions, expand on points I make, respond with your own thoughts and feelings in the comments or in a video response, and please share these videos if you find them meaningful or think they deserve it. I'll be back soon to go into how you can't really develop happiness unless you know yourself. And until then, long days and pleasant nights.